Okay. Hi, everybody. This is going to be very fun. Today I am going to be making my turmeric and ginger biggie cubes, which I then have as a nice hot beverage every morning. This is super healthy and good for inflammation. And let's get started. Okay, so a couple things. We're going to go through this whole process from the beginning. We have a masticating juicer. There's two types of juicers. You have a centrifuge and the masticating. Centrifuge is the one that chops it all up and then spreads it out and drains down. This is the one that presses and mashes. I prefer this one. And if you look at the science behind it, the cellular structure of the nutrients is actually better preserved with the masticating juicer. So this is what I recommend. I've had my Omega juicer for so long I can't even remember. I mean, a decade maybe. So, and you can get replacement parts when you need it. I know, I had to do it one time. So, all right, that's number one. Number two, we have all of our ingredients already laid out here. We have being washed right now, turmeric. And that is just literally water with a little white vinegar in it. That's the best way to wash, well, everything. And while we're at it, we might as well wash our apple. Yay. Wash our carrots. Because I put a little extra pizzazz in my beverages. And then we will wash our ginger. Most gingerly. Okay. Yes, no. We know. We're a cheese ball. Just deal with it. All right. So we're going to do our ginger. Ginger. Washing our ginger. Probably just take this out in big handfuls. There we go. Last bit. Now, as you see, I use a lot, because I make like 2-3 weeks worth in advance of my drinks, so that I don't have to do this all the time, which, you know, makes sense. All right, I apologize now for the noise. Wait a minute. Wrong way. But this is the level of the noise that we're going to be dealing with when we do this. So how do we do this? Well, it's pretty easy. You take your ginger. It is not the right size to fit through the hole, so I'm just going to cut that in half. And voila. Ginger goes in there. Crud comes out the back end, and juice stays in the middle. Very good, very well done. And you just keep it up. I use a quotient of about 1-to-1. So I get fresh ginger. There's a lot of recipes that use powdered ginger, and that's fine because not everybody has fresh ginger, but I think, you know, fresh is best if you can get it. And where I find my fresh ginger, I live right down the street from an international mart. And that international mart has everything that you could want for any type of imaginable international cooking. So, excellent place to go and great prices. Everybody's price conscious these days. I have to imagine that if you were going to buy the shots that we're making from a store, you'd be spending a lot more. There we go. Ginger. Ginger. We do this so gingerly. Oh wait, I already made that joke. Repeat joke. Ignore. Continue pressing on. Literally pressing on. Here we go. And this ginger is actually nice and fresh. So I'm getting a lot of juice out of it. So even though I got like a lot of ginger, I don't think I'm going to need all of this ginger because it is juicing so nicely. With the ginger, with the turmeric, with everything, basically, you will find that the fresher it is, the more juice it has, the more nutrition it has. Ginger, and cut off that little nubbins. Ginger. Now we're going to do turmeric. And you can see I got about 1 inch in the bottom there. Turmeric. We have plenty of fresh turmeric ready to go. This one's easier. I don't have to chop this up for fit. But warning, fair warning about the turmeric. This stuff stains like nobody's business. So don't wear fancy clothes. Don't have anything white around because it gets into stuff and it takes forever. In fact, I wonder if maybe this was even used as a stain for orange at one point in some kind of cultural history. Who knows? That sounds like something I could Google. You can see how red, or orange rather, it's making the ginger. Turmeric, turmeric, turmeric. Kind of looks like a centipede or grub. I hope that doesn't turn some people off. Okay. So we got about a 1-to-1 there, and you can see how wonderfully this all busts up. Oop, oop. You didn't see that. You didn't see that. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Next, I like to sweeten it up a little bit, and I like to add in extra veg for different reasons. Beta carotene is one of the best things for your skin and your eyes. And I'm already making a drink that's orange anyway, so this will sweeten it up. Give you the extra nutrients that you want. This one's a little big. You chop it so slightly. So I use like 2 carrots. And I throw the whole thing in because it's washed, you're juicing it, it doesn't really matter. There we go. Look at that. This is going to make some delicious compost later on. Let me tell you that. Okay. Now I'm going to do something a little bit more controversial, and you're going to be like, what? But trust me, I take a few cloves of garlic because garlic is also, it's full of magnesium. It's great for everything. I'm a garlic fiend. I don't want it to taste like garlic, overpowering, but you throw in like a couple small cloves and it's not going to make that much of a difference, trust me. All right. I've already got half of a lemon here. I love drinking lemon water. Fun fact, lemon water is actually more hydrating than regular water. It's true. And it's like maybe 6 calories to add to a glass of water. It's not like a huge deal. So a little lemon, good for you. The vitamin C is good for you. Okay, next up, we have apple. An apple a day. That's what they say. Like my alliterations, I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. All right, cut it up. Like I said, I don't bother decoring. Technically, you're not supposed to eat the seeds because they have arsenic in them, but I'm not eating the seeds. They just get pooped out with all the other debris, so I don't mind so much. Here we go. Here we go. And more and more. More and more. And if you want to add special things to this, you can always add a little something extra. Like me, for example, I got a whole box of these delicious mangoes from that on discount because they were like super uber ripe from that store that I was mentioning before, the International Mart. So I'm just going to throw some mango in here. Just a little, give it an extra sweetness, give it a little extra something. Doesn't hurt it none. There are ways to cut and carve mango that are correct, and I don't know this. So we're just gonna cut around the seed as best we can, that big old seed that lives inside the mango. I've never had this with mango before, but I imagine it's going to be delicious because the mango. Hot diggity, that's good. Mm. 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 Don't mind me. Talk amongst yourselves. Mm. 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 Hot diggity, that was good. Okay. Cut this in half. Half again. I think this is going to add a nice flavor to our ginger turmeric shots. See how effective the masticating juicer is, though? And when it comes out this other end, it's drier than you would think. See, now, here's something I didn't anticipate. The mango is kind of like I'm going to call it creamier fruit. So it's kind of sticking in the juicer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shove another piece of ginger down there. Because the ginger is going to give the masticating juicer something solid to crunch. And it'll get through all that. There we go. Put another piece of turmeric in there too. Oh, that looks so good. We're going to let it run for a minute here. Actually, first we're going to... So all these juicers have a reverse. So we're going to do a reverse. Reverse, reverse, reverse. Now we've learned, if we ever do mango again, we put that in first. And forward again. We're just going to let it keep running through. One or two more hard pieces in there. And help push it down. Or, I know this sounds crazy, but just the lemon rind itself, if you get stuff like you need to press through, lemon rind itself is not going to add that much more juice. While that's working, let's get this bit set up here. 1, 2, 3. 3. Tres, avance. Oh, okay. All right. I think this is about as good as it's gonna get. And I say again, look at all that delicious worm food. Everybody's got to eat. Okay. Reverse one time. One more time forward. One more time forward. I think now you can see, if you can see, this is starting to clear up. I think we got all the juice out of that we're going to be getting out of that. So here we go. We're going to unhook it, tilt it back and forth to get any gummy, liquid, juicy, gooey deliciousness out before I take this all apart and clean it. And for now, I'm not going to do that with you guys because the cleaning is kind of a pain in the butt. And like I said, turmeric stains. I cannot emphasize that enough, so be careful. Now this, my friends, is the tricky part. And if you were smart, you would probably make less of it so that the pouring is easier. I wasn't smart today. I just decided to just make a big vat of it and then do the best I could. So here we are, doing the best we can. You can see how bright and orangey that is. And you know what? Let's just take a little sample. Oh, that's good. That's going to make for a delicious beverage. We're going to do those beverages afterwards, so I'm going to hit the button on the tea kettle there. And here we go. Slowly she pours. This is the most, you could probably use a turkey baster. I said this was the tricky part. I wasn't lying. Now remember, remember, when things freeze, they expand. So you don't want to actually fill these up like all the way. You want to leave room for expansion. And if I wanted to at this point, because I have extra of all the ingredients, I could go back and make more to pour over them, even them all out here. Okay, I'm gonna take this last little bit here, and we're gonna make some of my special morning beverage together so you could actually see what it is that I do. Imagine, if you will, imagine, if you will, take notice I'm using a black cloth to clean up the turmeric. So imagine that this is an ice cube already frozen that I've put in here, okay? So there's a couple things that I added this. Oh, I almost forgot. First, we cayenne pepper, cayenne pepper, cayenne pepper, because cayenne pepper heats up your system and gets it moving. The cayenne pepper wakes me up just as well as like anything else, I'll tell you that. Also in here, I have a little fresh ground pepper, just a little bit. And that's good for your system too. Sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. It helps if you say sprinkle, sprinkle when you go, because you know, that always helps. Sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. Sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. And it is all thoroughly sprinkled. We're gonna take a little sprinkle, sprinkle, put it in there. And we'll take a little cayenne pepper and put it in here. And incidentally, I usually add extra cayenne pepper in the morning too because I like it spicy. Okay, now there is a few other things that we add. First is, and these things might seem a little odd, but again, for extra vitamins and minerals, I take just the smallest amount of this sea salt. And if you could see in my hands, I mean just a tiny little amount. And I add that. The sea salt, the sodium is good for you. The magnesium and all the trace minerals that it has is really good for you. My beloved sister, the Tickled Pickler, makes the most amazing vinegars. In fact, I can show you right here her Raisin the Roof. This is fantastic on a fruit salad. Oh my God, with like strawberries and walnuts and stuff like that. This is like delish. But what's great about it is that it has live vinegars in it, and live vinegars is some of that stuff that's like really good for your gut bio. So I always put in about a teaspoon, if not a little bit more, of the live vinegar. And then to sweeten it all up, a little bit of honey. And you can do this by taste, depending on your taste, you know. Now, I will say this. I am about to use a metal spoon. I know this is sacrilege. I know that it changes the enzymes in the honey when you use the metal spoon, but I don't have a wooden spoon. So you do with what you got, all right? And I don't like it too sweet. I like it a little bitter, like my soul. So I only use like a little bit of honey, but you at home can use as much honey as you want, honey, all right? Now, hot water. And usually what I'll do is I'll actually use the spoon to lift up the ice cube and keep pouring the hot water directly on the ice cube so that it melts it faster. And when this is done, this is probably going to be a little bit hotter today because I didn't start with the cube. This is not going to be boiling hot. You're going to be ready to drink this right away because the ice cube with the hot water kind of mellows out to a nice, more than room temperature. And I will say this does taste good, better, I should say, warmer. Be careful about microwaving it, because if you microwave it, you start to cook the different raw ingredients that are in it. It's better to just kind of have it as natural as you possibly can. And let me tell you something, this is one wonderful wake up. Oh, yes. It's got everything. And you can't really taste anything too overpowering. And the honey mellows it all out. But you can see how everything is proportioned, yeah? And then I'm just going to take my cubes once I clean up the edges and stick them in the freezer, and you're good to go. And that's a happy morning to you. So good. Thank you for joining me. Have a good day.